Welcome back, guys, to Funtime Videos, and today marks the very first time I upload in over 2 years, which is just quite insane to even think about. But there is a very good reason as to why I have returned, and it has to do with what will most likely be the biggest update Minion Rush has ever received. And today I'm going to be sharing everything that we know up till now about what will likely be the biggest update in Minion Rush history. So without further delay, let's begin. So news about this update has been spreading like absolute wildfire across the Minion Rush community. So I really want to turn this video into a compilation of everything we know up until this point about this major update. In order to do this, the video will be divided into 3 portions, and you can freely skip around to whatever topic interests you the most. The 3 topics that will be discussed are background context leading up to this update, leaks and information, and expected release date. The first topic I will discuss is the background context for this update, and to do that, I think it is best to take you on a timeline of events, starting with the Adventure Beta update. The Adventure Beta update released in the middle of June of 2020. At the time, most of the community believed it would become another major revamp to the game, similar to, for example, the Jelly Lab update or the 5-year celebration update, but as it turns out, it was never released. Instead, it served as a space to test new features for the main version of the game, and as a result of the Adventure Beta, the game did receive some features such as the Minion Festival and a newer and improved endless running room. However, the Adventure Beta was crucially important, as it turns out, because it laid the foundation for this next upcoming major update. It introduced a new game style that focuses on the endless runner aspect of the game, and this is something that is still the focus for this next upcoming major version. And if you actually take a look at this screenshot, for example, over here, you will notice it looks quite a little bit different to the current version of the game, and I feel like this screenshot that you see here, to me, appears like a very early prototype of what we will have soon once this new major update releases. But after the Adventure Beta update, like I said, a few features came out of it, but nothing really that major. But it was then on December 13th, 2022, that Minion Rush posted this clip on its social media platform. The clip features the Sporty Kevin costume rendered using a different rendering engine than the one used for the game. If you look at the screenshot on the left, you will see a close approximation of how the new graphics will look in the game. It looks very different to what we currently have in the game. For example, if you look first at the screenshot on the right, you will see how the game currently looks. So there's a very big difference. Now, of course, like I said, this over here on the left side, this is just an approximation of how the graphics in the new game will look. And there's a few other examples. I think Minion Rush posted a video to celebrate its 10-year anniversary, and you can also see the same similar rendering engine in action. But then after this clip was posted, about half a year later, on June 5th, 2023, Minion Rush made a post celebrating the game's 10-year celebration update. And about 2 weeks later, they made this post about an anniversary interview with game manager Stanislav. There's a couple of interesting things that can be found in this post, and I really want to dive a little bit deeper into that. So the post is formatted with a question that is asked to the game manager and then a response. In this image, the question is, what exciting new features can we expect in future updates of the game? And I highlighted 3 phrases. First of all, several exciting new game modes. That's one of the things we can expect. And some stuff that comes to mind are the Jelly Puzzles, which is a brand new feature, and also Boss Rush, which is a time-limited event that has recently released. I think it released this year or last year. That has to do with completing missions that relate to boss battles. So I think that's referencing those things, but it also might be referencing new features that we might receive in the future. We also have this other phrase that says few design renovations. If you've been playing the main version of the game, you'll notice that there hasn't been any major overhauls to the visuals of the game. I believe that this phrase highlighted in green is referencing the new upcoming major update to the game because it has a complete overhaul to the design. Then we have the phrase highlighted in pink that says special update for some of our older creations. And I think that might be referencing maybe the return of old features such as minion races, or it might also be referencing an update that we're about to receive, the next update. Right now, the current version of the game, I think we're having like a Olympics themed special mission. And then in the next update, I believe it's going to be about Minion Rush nostalgia. And so I think it might be referencing those things that we're about to see. But yeah, overall, I think this post is interesting. But there's also another image that I want to analyze, which is this one. The question here that was posed was, can you give us some behind the scenes insights on how you continue evolving the game for players? And if you notice some of the phrases I highlighted, such as, we never want to put out something bland and uninspired, and also amazing community is always teeming with wild new ideas and great suggestions. I highlight those two phrases specifically because they don't really seem to be referencing this current version of the game, because most of the features that are found in the current version did not really originate from the community. And I'm gonna be honest, even some of the special missions that we've received recently feel kind of bland and uninspired. I feel like recently they've actually improved the design of the special missions. They're getting a little bit more creative with the ideas for the theme for each special mission. But there was definitely a time period where all the special missions felt recycled. I just feel like this entire post is not referencing the current version of the game, but rather the version that they've been planning for quite a while now. But yeah, with all that being said, that does conclude this portion of the video with the background context, and the next portion is about the leaks and information. So it's basically all the juicy stuff about this update, everything we know, everything that has leaked, everything that the Minion Rush developers have shared with us, I'm about to share here. So this whole story begins on June 10th, 2024, when Minion Rush published this post on their social media platforms. So I'm talking about Facebook, I'm talking about Discord, all of those platforms. They made this post, which reads, "Happy 11th anniversary runners, thank you for all the amazing memories along the way." And what's most interesting is that at the very end, they included this, which reads, "What's next for Minion Rush? We're working on something incredible, and we can't wait to reveal it soon. Stay tuned to our socials for a sneak peek." So that already gets people's attention. And so a few weeks later, on July 22nd, 2024, Minion Rush makes this post, which just gets the community riled up about what's to come. And we can inspect this pretty briefly. So first of all, at the time I'm recording this video, we're at the first box here. As you can see, the new special missions box. Where it reads at the bottom, Poppy's first high. So that special mission is now over, and currently we're at the World Game special mission. What comes after this version of the game is something called Minion Rush Nostalgia. I have no idea what that might refer to. At the bottom it reads best missions coming back and celebrating the legacy of Minion Rush. So in some way, shape, or form, the legacy of Minion Rush is going to be celebrated. Perhaps old special missions will return. Perhaps we will see a special mission themed around the Jelly Lab. There's honestly a lot of potential here with this Minion Rush Nostalgia update, which will probably come out sometime in August. And then we have the massive update, which is a total revamp, and it says that more information is coming soon. We do have a little bit more information, and so I'm just going to go straight ahead and just dump it all here. Here's all the information that I could share about this major update, because on July 23rd, 2024, information about a beta version was leaked. And we can now confirm practically everything that you're seeing on the screen right now in the table can be confirmed as being part of this major version that's coming to the game. So the first thing that stands out is that there's going to be a complete visual overhaul. There's going to be a complete visual overhaul with a new user interface and a new rendering system. And in fact, here we have a little screenshot of a little pop-up ad that you may have seen at the beginning of the video that shows how the game will look. So here you can see a little sneak peek of the new user interface and the new graphics. We can also see that there's going to be some brand new power-ups, a lot of new power-ups. We have Shrink Ray, Disco Boots, a guitar power-up, a multi-score power-up, and then a banana smoothie, which will be replacing what we currently know as the banana splitter, which makes your bananas count twice as much. We're also going to see redesigned locations. What that means is that the pre-existing locations will be recolored. There's going to be some new obstacle designs, etc. Weekly events will also be making a return to the game. I still don't know exactly if it's going to be the same as the weekly events that we used to see in the Jelly Lab or in the Endless Runner era. I'm still not entirely sure how that will look like, but it does sound very promising. We can also see that each location will now have its own pool of missions, and that completing a set of missions will give you an award, usually a costume. If you're familiar with the Endless Runner version of the game, you'll remember that there used to be a lot of missions that would be jumbled up, and as you completed missions, you would get closer to reaching a new despicable multiplier. In this new version of the game, it'll work somewhat similarly, except that each location will have its own set of missions. You'll be able to complete them and earn a costume or earn tokens. We also see that there's going to be a new feature called boosters. Boosters are basically equipable power-ups. Some examples of these new power-ups include the jet boosters, minion armor, pogo stick, power extender, and revive me. So these new boosters, you'll be able to equip with your costume. They will not come with your costume. You can equip them to any costume. And I'm not sure if any of you can actually see very closely, but if you zoom in right here, right above the run button, you will see that there are a couple of icons right below the costume here in the example of the new lobby, and that's basically an example of the new boosters. But with that being said, we're going to go over to the last two big things that have been confirmed as part of this update, which is that loot crates will now replace prize pods. Prize pods are essentially still going to be in the game, they're just going to get a visual revamp. Since I cannot show you any images from this beta version, what I have done is I have shown an example of a loot crate from the game Asphalt 8, which is another game owned by Gameloft. And the crates here look very, very similar to those that will be in this brand new version of Minion Rush, so that's a good visual example. Finally, there will be no more banana coins, which I'm glad to hear, because this is a complaint that I voiced in my video from some time ago where I explained why Minion Rush was dying and how to fix it. You can check that video out in the description below or on my channel. And I'm really looking forward to the replacement of banana coins. I'm not sure if bananas will replace banana coins in this upcoming version, but that appears to be the case. Now, with all that being said, there are some speculations about this major update, and also I want to share some stuff that I would like to see in this update. So let's first of all cover the update speculations. So first and foremost, minion races are believed to be reintroduced in this update. Maybe not in the initial release of this update, but minion races are believed to be reintroduced at some point after the initial release of this Unity update. The next piece of speculation is that costume-specific power-ups will be removed. So what this means is that costumes will no longer have a power-up attached to them. For example, Disguised costume will no longer have the PX41 serum as a rechargeable power-up. So it'll basically return to how it used to be back in the Jelly Lab, where costumes just had an ability and that was it. The next piece of speculation is that some version of the Minion Festival will be kept. I do not believe that this feature will go away. It'll maybe be rebranded, renamed a little bit, or it might stay the same. I have no idea. The final piece of speculation is that the developers will move away from their in-house development software and over to Unity. Now, this piece of information is not confirmed, but a lot of members of the community seem to believe that this will be the case, simply judging from how the game looks now with their new rendering engine. It looks very similar to Unity, and also apparently, once again, according to the community, there have been other games from Gameloft that have been developed with Unity and not their in-house development software. Now I would like to list a few things that I would like to see in this brand new version of the game. So the first thing that I would like to see is location switching mid-run. So what this means is, if you recall the endless running version of the game, you used to be able to run in Groot's lab, and then mid-run you would find a portal that would take you to the residential area, or it would take you to El Macho's lair. And then in that location you could find another portal and switch to another location, and it really made the game feel like it was situated in a large, expansive world. And I would really like to see that feature brought back because I think it was very fun, and I know that a lot of other members of the community also enjoy this feature. The next thing that I would like to see added are new boss battles, because the last boss battle that was introduced to the game was over 10 years ago. It was with the 1.8.1 update. Since that update, there have been a bunch of Despicable Me and Minion movies that have released that have introduced a bunch of villains such as Balthazar Brat, Scarlet Overkill, so I'd love to see some of those bosses be introduced into the game. Finally, I would absolutely love to see Minion Races return in some way, shape, or form, even if it's not the exact same version of Minion Races as the ones we saw during the Jelly Lab era. And finally, this is something that a lot of you were probably looking forward to. When is this update releasing? So here is a timeline of when the major updates for this game have released, and generally you can see a trend of these versions releasing either in late summer or sometime in the fall. I think it would be reasonable to expect this update sometime between October of 2024 and December of 2024. And right now, the World Games Special Mission is still ongoing. I'm not entirely sure when it will end, but I'm sure it will end at some point in August, which means we will probably receive an update this month that introduces all of the Minion Rush nostalgia stuff that we saw over here. This Minion Rush nostalgia block, I believe those features or those updates will come out sometime in the month of August. This would mean that the Unity version will probably release about 2 months or a little over 2 months after that Minion Rush nostalgia update, which would place this update sometime in late October or early November. But yeah, with all of this being said, what are your thoughts about this update? Let me know any and all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Now with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video, and goodbye, everybody.